That's what the fuck's going on. Is Ukraine
joining us now to
war?
discuss retired Army General David Petraeus. He, of course, was the commander of U.S. Central Command, led the 101st Airborne Division as well in the 2003 Iraq invasion. General, it's good to have you on this morning. As I've been watching this, and I'm sure you as well, watching this unfold, we are all impressed by Ukrainian resolve and some successes early on in the first week of this war. But, and I think we'll put the map up here, Russian forces are advancing, particularly in the south, more slowly in the east and the north, but they are getting into position to surround key cities.
There's something different about this when it involves Europe and our world powers rather than Afghan or Iraq. Yes, the only difference is that when America does this to Iraq or Afghanistan, you can just fucking, they can just keel over, you know what I mean? And even if they don't and they fucking launch any sort of opposition, no matter what the human cost is to the Iraqi civilians, Iraqi citizens, Afghan civilians, Afghan citizens, it doesn't matter. All that bloodshed is collateral damage. It's not seen as like an emancipatory act against like, it's not seen as an emancipatory act. It's just seen as like, you know, it's just seen as a bloodshed that's happening because, you know, you're not supposed to fucking push back against America. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Main difference here also is that Saddam Hussein gassed 150,000 Kurds. What has Ukraine done that is similar? That's why America went into Iraq, because Saddam Hussein gassed 150,000 Kurds. You're right. I'm not saying Saddam Hussein is good, by the way. Don't be fucking ridiculous. Also, America killed 500,000 Iraqi children with sanctions. So, you know, Saddam Hussein is bad, except there is a government that has had more of a human toll on Iraq, and that is America. That 500K number has been debunked. Oh, debunk! I'm debunking it. I wonder who Saddam got the gas from and the chemical agents. Actually, that's been debunked. I give you eight Pinocchios. I'm still waiting for your answer on who's more comparable to Hitler than Saddam. I mean, you can make unironically, you could make a better fucking argument for Saddam being closer to Hitler than Vladimir Putin, yes. Even then, it's obviously not comparable, but... Over 929,000 people have died in the post-9/11 wars due to direct war violence, and several times as many due to the reverberating side effects of war. Over 38 million people are displaced as a consequence of America's war on terror. Over 387,000 civilians have been killed as a result of the fighting. The U.S. government is conducting counter-terror activities in 85 countries, and the war have been accompanied by violations of human rights and civil liberties in the United States and abroad. If there's one country that is the main imperialist, it's always going to be the United States of America. But some of you literally foolishly don't want to have that conversation because that would require self-examination. That would require you to undermine your conditioning. Sorry, hold on. I'm talking to my brother. The rest of the world cannot stand up to the United States the way they can get behind the U.S. and gang up on Russia. Putin is still bad, by the way, but the world will cower behind America and Europe to not get caught up in his way. Yes. Non-war mortality rates are what the entire West is missing when considering the situation. It was inevitable already, yes, due to NATO expansion, but was likely sped up due to the rise of Russia. No war mortality rates. Hassan, Putin sees this as a strategy, not a war of genocide like Hitler raced before the manpower withered. How would the U.S. plus allies react if Russia enacted its own Hague Invasion Act? It would be completely unacceptable. It would be completely unacceptable if Russia internally, or they might even have one in the Duma. They like fucking passed the law where they said, if you ever try to extradite any of our fucking war criminals, we will literally invade the Hague. Like that would be incredible. That would be something that the entire rest of the world would laugh at and say, absolutely not. That's nuclear war, baby. Except we can do that. The United States of America has a law, like has passed legislation that dictates that if you ever try to extradite U.S. citizens, U.S. service members, any kind of fucking military official, diplomat, anyone like that, to try them for war crimes, we will invade you. Of course, while we're having this conversation, doesn't matter. Air raid sirens are going off. In Kyiv. No, not in LA. No. Kyiv right now. Блядь! Is this from right now? Блядь! 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 Christ. No, it's not my stream. Joe Biden pretty much ended the drone war and withdrew from Afghanistan. You give him almost no credit. Wait, that's literally fucking bullshit. I absolutely did give credit to Joseph Robinette Biden for withdrawing from Afghanistan. You're a fucking psycho. I was Joe Biden's greatest fucking champion. Okay, and also he didn't end the drone war. He literally ended up droning the head of ISIS. Sorry, it wasn't a drone. It was a self-explosion, which I do not fucking believe, by the way. But you know, I do give him credit for ending the war in Afghanistan. I did. So you're a fucking 12-month sub. You've been in here long enough. I know for a fucking fact. I know for a fucking fact You know what my position is on Afghanistan and how many times I've fucking defended Joe Biden against all the fucking fake friends who despise him. Okay? I think my neighbors are like fucking around. There's some noise coming in from that side that's like got me on edge for no reason. Sorry. Does anybody even watch it before saying shit? I feel like half these attacks are just people making stuff up. Exactly. That person knows better. He's just fucking trying to win an argument with a shadow. Okay.
Ought to be focused on is energy and the military. Those are the two things that would matter the most. And we ought to be providing the munitions that are needed, the javelins, the Stinger missiles that would be most effective against this Russian army. Now, as of this morning, this 40-mile convoy of Russian troops and Russian tanks and munitions and fuel, they're only 18 miles outside of Kyiv. And let me tell you, when I look at that, I'm thinking, uh-oh, this is about to become, it's about to go to the next level. And I pray to God Almighty I'm wrong. And the next level would be a massacre. And the next level would be the toppling of the government of Kyiv. The next level will mean thousands upon thousands and likely tens of thousands of people dead, and that might be on the low side. That's what I fear the most now. Now, you would think that maybe these European countries would get together and they'd be arming the Ukrainians that show that they're willing to fight.
But they are already. What the fuck's he talking about? If his argument is like, why don't they just bomb this convoy? I'm pretty sure they would if they had like the fucking strike capabilities, and they have. If your argument is, why don't the European countries give weapons to these Ukrainians, then that's also false, because he is. I mean, we are.
You know, if we can see on satellite imagery where the convoy is, I don't know, maybe some smart country, maybe NATO might take some of their fighter jets, or maybe they can use...
Oh, never mind. Oh, he's a fucking idiot. Dude, Dude, what the fuck? Like, arguments like this make me realize that, like, a lot of people are way dumber than I fucking thought they were, with respect to the, like, how any of this shit works. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so many people have been like cheerleading this thing on as though it's like, as though it wouldn't be an immediate act of like full blown fucking war. Like, what? I keep asking. I'm like, listen, you know the American government is bloodthirsty. Why the fuck do you think Joe Biden hasn't gone in? Like, why? Why haven't the NATO nations gone in yet? You think it's because they're pussies? Like, do people not understand? You think NATO shouldn't give fighter jets? I think NATO was going to give fighter jets to Ukraine. Of course, fighter jets are not all built equally, for the record. And obviously, Ukraine wouldn't know what the fuck to do with like a different, you know, like with F-16s or whatever, if they're not trained on F-16s. So what are you going to do with that? But there are fighter jets that they were, that Ukrainian pilots are trained on, that they were going to send in. And I guess they didn't do that in the end, because I think they saw that would be seen as an act of violence, an act of escalation. Because yeah, Poland was going to give the MiG-29s and you know, the same exact fighter jets that they have, the same exact fighter jets that Ukraine is used to, that Ukrainian pilots have been trained on, but they didn't end up doing it. So I don't know.
Some drone strikes and take out the whole damn convoy. And then nobody takes credit for it. So then Putin won't know who to hit.
What the fuck? That's awesome. That's brilliant. That's actually brilliant. What do you mean? The fucking brilliant mind. The brilliant mind of Sean Hannity. Yeah, just fucking, you know, do it secretly, dude. Come on. Just get in there and fucking nuke it, dude. Brilliant. Get in there and blow that shit up, brother. No one will know any better. Russia does not have the tools to recognize who's doing the acts. They'll never be able to figure it out.
Back. Well, he's threatening nuclear weapons. Hannity, you talk about nuclear war. I'm not talking about nuclear war, nor would I support one American boot on the ground here. But at what point is this going to end? Because nobody did anything after Georgia was taken in 2008. Nobody cared about Crimea being annexed in 2014. It's interesting how Donald Trump, Putin did nothing during those years. And I would argue it's because he feared Trump and he believed Trump would do whatever was necessary.
What does that mean? What would Trump have done that's different? The argument about Trump, like Putin and Trump's relationship being like a positive one.
A lot of.
I mean, it's kind of fucked up. I mean, we make like France would have caved jokes all the time, but like also, you know, there was a gigantic French resistance. You know what I mean? So that's. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, so that is what he had to say on Ukraine. Then he got into the bad part of his speech. Okay, that was the best part of his speech. Then he got into the bad part. So he started talking about the pandemic. And this is where the lies begin. Because when you're the president of the United States and you've had...
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's where the lies begin. So again, Ben Shapiro, no opinion on Joe Biden's. Okay,
the worst 14 months of any president of the United States ever. Ever. I mean, Abraham Lincoln had a full-scale insurrection on his hands in the beginning of his administration. That wasn't caused by Abraham Lincoln. Everything bad that has happened over the last 14 months is a completely self-inflicted wound. Joe Biden is the Kurt Cobain of politics. He put a shotgun in the mouth of the American body politic and then pulled the trigger. And the brains are on the wall. Okay, this is the president of the United States is really, really bad at this. And because he is so bad at this, he has to just lie to you. He has to explain to you, actually, everything is fine. Everything is perfectly good. Not only that, we've done an incredible job. So the president starts talking about COVID-19. Here we go. Okay, so that is what he had to say on.
I don't even understand where he's. I don't understand this analogy. I'm sorry. It's too big brain for me. This is what a nuclear war would actually look like. HBO. No. Yeah, I'm old too. Chad loves saying I'm fucking old, but when I say someone else is old, everyone's like, that's fucking ageist, you piece of shit. Fuck you. How dare you? How fucking dare you say such a horrible thing? Also, you're just as old and you're gonna die. That's you, chat. Yeah, my man does have like 5 HP left. Bro, you're 35. I'm 30. Okay, I'm 30 years old. And yes, I am old, okay? Yes, it's true. I'm old. 30 years old. Hassan is aging rapidly like a school teacher. CIA director's answer in Freel publish on YouTube. Cap. Come on, Hassan, stop with your bullshit. What do you mean? I don't want to watch Ben Shabibo's response to the State of the Union.